Hellboy 3 2019 movie trailer cast, release date, plot, spoilers, and everything you need to know. Stranger things are afoot. But turning that third film into a reality proved to be too much of an uphill battle, with just not enough bums on seats for the first two to justify it. This being Hollywood, when one door closes another opens, and that allowed director Neil Marshall Dog Soldiers, The Descent, and the Game of Thrones episode Blackwater to get his reboot off the ground. Devour everything you need to know about Big Red's 2019 reboot below, and then head to the digital spy forums too. At New York Comic Con in early October, the crowd at the Hellboy panel were treated to a sizzle reel which went down an absolute treat in the room. Sadly, and then, one day earlier than expected, Lionsgate revealed the first trailer for the reboot on December 19th. The trailer sees Hellboy find himself under fire from all sides, including from the SAS and even EastEnders' Big MO for real. When he reluctantly, along with the trailer, we got a brand new poster too. And then we were treated to a second, bloodier trailer for the reboot on March 1st that's packed with nods to the comic books. It also shows off more of the movie's villainous Blood Queen and Hellboy's origins. Technically, this is Hellboy 3, but given everything Perlman said about finishing the trilogy, that feels wrong. It was originally subtitled Rise of the Blood Queen, which removed the need for this kind of deep thinking, but that's since been dropped for the more reboot-friendly Hellboy. We're going to come right out with it, Ron Perlman is Hellboy. When we first heard, looking like a fiery gargoyle who's stopped by the armory, he's every bit as Hellboy as Perlman was. Its images like Harbor even managed to get the nod from his predecessor when the pair met for dinner. Or lunch at the, alongside Harbor, who even back in that first image, Hellboy will star American gods cornering the market in Magical Daddies. Previously played by John Hurt, academic Trevor Bruttenholm pronounced Broom is Hellboy's surrogate father and an expert on the supernatural who heads up the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense BPRD. He died very early on in the first film and even earlier in the comics, but later stories have explored his life from World War II and beyond. Hellboy has also signed up a solid star as its chief antagonist. Resident Evil icon. We got our first look at the Blood Queen in a that was released during New York Comic Con. One snag the movie's casting department did hit was complaints of fans were annoyed, to his credit, from the comic adaptation after fans voiced their concerns. Lost's Daniel D. Kim then confirmed his following screen's departure. For standing aside. Thankfully, it all ended nicely for the actors and over the experience. Screen and Kim In other casting news, Sasha Lane will, Penelope Mitchell will play Elder Witch Gainia, Sophie Okondo will play a Lady Haddon, Brian Gleason will play Merlin, and Alistair Petrie will play Lord Adam Glaren, a high-ranking member of the Osiris Club. There we were hoping Hellboy would be around to scare away the winter blues. The film was original. Hellboy will now be released on April 12, 2019 in the US, and we're just hoping there are no further delays and that the UK and US get the film at the same time. As already stated, the film was previously subtitled Rise of the Blood Queen. The action-adventure Entertainment Weekly's exclusive first look at the Hellboy poster on social media also claimed Stranger. Ben Daimio also transforms into a war-jaguar under stress, which we think will probably become relevant at some point during the course of this film. Hellboy is released on April 12, 2019. Want up-to-the-minute entertainment news and features? Just hit like on
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.